So Promised Neverland, chapter 168 has already come out a day after I uploaded my review of the previous chapter, so let's get into it. So what happens is we get left off from what happens from the previous chapter. The demons, a big mistake from my previous review, they weren't killing or degenerating the demons, they were just putting them to sleep in the previous chapter. So that was a big that was a big thing that I messed up on with the previous review. Let me just get that out of the way. So, following the events of the previous chapter, we get everyone trying to find their way around. Emma, Norman, and Ray manage to get into the room where they initially saw through the security cameras where Peter Rattray was. But when they get there, it's surprisingly empty. Then when Norman tries to radio them to see what's going on, it's then revealed that Rattray was playing them the whole time. That what they were seeing was nothing more than a recording, and they ended up capturing the infiltration team that was responsible for hacking the security systems, thus putting guns to their heads and trying to threaten everyone. Then we get a whole thing where he shoots one of them, basically wants to try and get the password for a very. They essentially put a very complicated password so that Peter Rattray, since he can't really guess it, would end up, not being able to get full control over the entire system. And not only that, but everyone else gets surrounded by humans and demons with guns pointing towards them. And the captives are basically saying, take down the enemies in your wake. Don't let everything we did go to waste. Try and do your best to save everyone that you can. Stuff like that. Norman says that everyone's getting out of there together. And the funny thing is, Peter Rattray is also kind of... We see how crazy the guy is. The guy shoots one of his captives already, and is basically going on this whole rant where he's going to, get rid of all the peaceful days that the kids will have. They'll have no will. They'll have no dreams or hopes. They'll be lobbed up. They will be mass-produced. They will be sold off to be eaten. Hell, and he won't have to deal with any more escapees. And, yeah, I would expect something from a guy like that. Someone who went through such lengths to get rid of the escapees, or just capture them for the aristocrats and stuff like that. He even goes as far as to say that he's all the children's father, due to the fact that he basically created, without him or the farms, they would never have been born. He goes off on this very long rant, saying all this stuff to try and get into their heads and basically get them to give up hope. And I do see where the guy is coming from. From his perspective, he's doing what his family has always done ever since the promise was made, and he's trying to do what he can to maintain that in his own twisted way, without any real threat of, the kids escaping or doing anything to threaten the peace that they've created over the years. Now, the thing is, with the Queen and the Five Richmond houses gone, there's no real need, like previously stated, there's no need for all the kids to live somewhat normal lives in the orphanages of said high pampered farms, and they don't have any need for their brains to be fully developed in that sense, because now there's no real need for that. Even though the brain is the most delicious part for the demons, they don't need it anymore, especially since it was the royals in the region and the aristocrats that, for the demon realm, that were essentially the ones wanting for all this to happen. They wanted the brains, and the highest grade meat in brains were supposed to go to that demon god thing, but now Emma made a new promise, so yeah. But right at the end, Oliver, Gillian, and everyone from Goldie Pond show up in that area, grabbing Peter Rattray from behind and pointing a gun straight to his head, basically saying that he's not their father. Don't even, give me that BS. And that's where the chapter ends. And I honestly am glad that this chapter came out. At first I was expecting that things were going way too smoothly. I said things were going way too smoothly. Something would end up picking up that would, rupture the plan a bit. Maybe cause some trouble, and sure enough it did. Peter Rattray expected something like this, and he prepared accordingly. And man, did he prepare. But somehow the Goldie Pond kids managed to get through the demons and the soldiers that Peter Rountree had stationed to try and shoot to kill them or just capture them, and they managed to get it through, find Peter Rountree, and now he has a gun to his head, and that is very satisfying. Now I still say that things aren't going to go as planned. Something is going to end up happening because Norman, Ray, and Emma are still surrounded by Peter Routree's personal guard with guns pointing straight at them. And I don't think the three of them are going to kill other humans, even if they're trying to kill them, even in self-defense. Remember, they're still, technically, like Emma's roughly like 13, 14 years old now. Same with Ray. And Norman, technically, even though his body got aged up. But, yeah, I don't see them killing. Possibly Peter Rountree told them to stand down or something, but even then, I doubt Peter Rountree is that cowardly. He's done a lot of despicable things and had a lot of planning, and he's insanely brilliant. For all we know, he has actually set up a decent trap for the rest of the escapees to try and trip them up and get them all captured. But that's all speculation. For all we know, this could help be the defining point. However, I do believe that something's going to happen where a lot of the demons aren't going to die, and some of the kids will either get massively injured in the fight, or escaping, or maybe some might end up dying. I don't think they're going to go that far, but it's possible. We've seen some of the kids die after the attack on the bunker of like 3 arcs ago. But yeah, if something happens, I feel like there is going to be like one final confrontation between Emma and Peter Routtree. I feel like it's going to be those two at the very end that are going to have the final confrontation. Emma's obviously going to have Norman and Ray with her, but I do kind of see that the final confrontation between Peter Routtree, who was built up to be such a good villain, and Emma, who is the protagonist. So that's how I feel like things are leading towards. And from what I can tell, we could have a couple more. We are definitely going to have a lot more chapters, since this is going to be the final arc of The Promised Neverland. I'm honestly insanely curious and excited to see what is going to happen next. But those are my initial thoughts of Promised Neverland Chapter 168. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. As I say in every video, what did you like about this chapter? What did you dislike? Was it boring? Was it too how should I put this? Too predictable? Or something that you just didn't enjoy? Or did you really enjoy it as much as I did? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And above all else, have an awesome day. See you guys around.